Brian Von Vier here, back at it again with another set of D&D stories, but today we're going to be talking about the one thing that would shake us all to the core. How did a character in your party die unexpectedly? Oh, we got a spoiler coming in. Spoilers for Dungeon of the Mad Mage, and a little homebrew on the side. Today in session, our party was moving through the Dwemercore level, and we came to a room with a statue of Halaster Blackcloak on either side of it from each other. Our paladin Angela moved up first, and the left statue animated and shouted, "Give me an H!" So she did. As she moved past, a pearl dropped down on her. Each of our other party members went on ahead and did the things the statues asked. Torxina was the last to go. The left statue started ominously counting down from 10 after the party member before Torxina went through, so she ran ahead to avoid whatever was coming. Didn't work. Got between the two statues. Power word kill, insta dead. Thankfully, the statues didn't attack when the other cleric in the party revived Torxina, but that was so unexpected to just see her die like that. We didn't even grieve. We were too surprised at what had happened, and she was already revived before what had just happened had time to set in. However, the pearls that dropped down on us were worth 100 gold pieces each, and our DM has a house rule that the pearls from Identify are consumed upon use. So we decided that since Angie had enough HP to not die from power word kill, she could go talk to the statues a few more times and get some more pearls. The next time she went in, a statue shouted, "Give me an A!" So Angela went into a full-on cheerleader routine in full plate armor, no less. We did get a bag of 8 100 gold piece pearls and a 3,000 gold piece diamond for our efforts, though. So that was all worth it, I guess. Also, as a narrator, I have to ask, is death in your game kind of like in Dragon Ball Z, sort of like a meaningless just inconvenience? Because I've read about Torxina for quite a while, and I swear every other little story that they're in, Torxina dies in some way and then comes back. And I'm like, at this point, like in Team 4-Star's reaction for Goku dying, it's like, it's another weekend. It's all right. Just give it another day. It'll be cool. Choked on an apple in the starting tavern. He was going to be a fine adventurer. Why did that get me? TLDR, we managed to TPK ourselves even when the GM tried to save us. Now this wasn't D&D, but the TTRPG of choice for our group was Anima, Beyond Fantasy. Never heard of it. We had been playing the campaign for a year and a half, and my character was a pseudo-monk with nunchakus, technicus technically, who could create all kinds of powers around Key. We had an Esper and a fighter with a big wolf familiar, among others. But these three were the important characters in this story. The fighter was a new addition to the group after my friend's character died a few sessions before, and he created this character. In Anima, when you create a familiar sheet, you need to spend points on attack and defense, because no matter how much damage you deal, if you don't know how to attack or defend, you will be as useful as a rock. When he created his familiar, we didn't check this and we continued playing. This is important later. After 6 or 7 sessions with the new character, we entered a desert dungeon in a pyramid to retrieve a magical artifact. Some ghouls started attacking us and we rolled initiative. Mid-fight, the fighter tried to defend himself with his familiar, but we noticed that he hadn't spent any points on attack or defense. Oops. The GM said that he would do something to save the wolf, but when the fighter leveled up, he would need to spend all of his points on fight abilities. We thought it was all good. Haha, it wasn't. The GM put an NPC, who was my apprentice, to block the attack, but he failed. Uh-oh. I entered an angered state of mind, and in Anima, when you are in anger mode, you cannot cast powers that don't do damage. You need to use the full dice roll. I charged an ability that duplicates my damage and triples my base attack. When I went to hit an enemy, I failed the roll, but rolled a critical for damage. My head exploded and my soul was evaporated from existence. I wasn't able to be revived, and even by the gods of life and death combined. With my death, the entire party entered in anger mode, and the Esper folded the ground itself and closed like a book. His intention was to crush the enemy, but his roll was so high that the crush was about 5 kilometers around. We were all in shock, and for 15 minutes we didn't say a word. After that, the GM showed us some papers and said, I tried to give you every chance to live because I had the next chapter all written, but you managed to TPK yourselves with those awful rolls. I don't know what to do. We agreed to let our characters die because we all saw those dice and we didn't want a Deus Ex Machina moment that said it was all a dream. Hey, look, good on you for taking it on the chin, though that would be kind of a cluster for the first time especially, or for any time really. One time, my party was turning in a quest at the mayor. Our resident druid decided to try and steal an old alchemist's axe. The alchemist was, not happy, hit with a max damage sickening ray, and the druid died. Did they die of dysentery? What kind of sickening damage did they take? The cleric rolled a 1 on trying to communicate with their god. The god got so offended that it sent a lightning strike. The cleric was at low HP, and that was for that. I feel like this is kind of BS, honestly, but I guess it depends on the deity. Like George Carlin said, though, if you pray to Joe Pesci, it's a 50-50 chance he'll come over and solve your problem with a bat, or he'll just ignore it and go to bed. Party member hit up a brothel in the city one night and didn't make it back. Not surprising due to all the hints that said brothel was involved in a lot of sussy stuff. Blair and DM went into another room for a private session for about 15 minutes. When they came out, Blair started rolling up a new character. We were all stunned. My rogue got possessed by his armor. He stabbed himself to stop from attacking his allies, and no one saved him. So he bled out. Why did no one save him? What kind of party is that? It was a Borderlands-based campaign. Bully Mongs had a lamp and kept turning it on and off, rapidly and repeatedly. On, off, on, off, on, off. I was the only one in a group to fail a con saving throw to prevent myself from dying in an epileptic seizure. So I died because giant monkeys had fun turning a lamp on and off in front of me. First and only character to die. A cultist priest used inflict wounds upcast to a level that we didn't even have spell slots for yet. It crit. And I'm pretty sure did like twice the HP the wizard had in damage. You know, in hindsight, I think that DM had a bit of a habit of playing the enemies like PCs. Got possessed by some demon-like thing that represented his depression/survivor guild or PTSD. In a moment of weakness, he went to his party and asked them to get it out of his head due to him losing control of himself. They couldn't come up with a better plan than killing him and trying to revive him, but due to some unknown force in the universe, the revival attempt was blocked. That is also a very bad idea. Made a Norf, a gnome dwarf monk. I've never thought of doing that before. Be in game. Get in a fight. Get a phone call. Tell DM, I can't talk right now. I'm getting a call. I'll be AFK. Call is about a cousin who was almost decapitated in a machete attack. Holy hell! DM kills my character for me being on the phone. The cousin survived, by the way, and I'm glad they did. I'm sorry you literally had to go through that. My condolences to you, your family, and I really just hope you guys all stay safe and sound. The wizard blew up their tabaxi rogue by accident. He started a fire in a brewery, and the rogue might have been inside. Managed to get out, but as the brewery was somewhat secluded, the blast attracted some local wildlife to feed. Pack of baby bullets chomped on the rogue. That is a hellish way to go. The party was level 2, exploring a dungeon. The party got into a fight with a lone magman and an Azer. The magman went first and crit the druid, instantly downing them and setting them on fire. Then, because of where the druid was positioned, they took fall damage, giving themselves one failed death save. The druid's turn was right after the magman. So, since they are on fire, they got another failed death save. And when they roll their first actual death save, they rolled an 8. The druid died before the party could even help them. I have 3, all the same character. Oh, this is just bad. Back in 4th edition, I played a Sharkfolk Barbarian named Venora Youngwater. She was a hot-headed as most barbarians are. Well, we get to a town that was being attacked by a Dullan, or a headless horseman. Me and the ranger absolutely kicked his butt, and he ran away. Overconfident at our victory, Venora and the ranger chased him down while the wizard and paladin pled for us not to. Well, we didn't listen. Chased them up into an abandoned castle and tried to finish the job there. Venora kicked in the doors and strode in, then activated a trap that magically sealed the doors, locking the ranger out. My overconfident shark then proceeded to get their ass handed to them while the ranger tried to find another way in. Venora died unexpectedly, and her soul was trapped in the Dullan for the next 2 sessions, yelling at him while the party tried to figure out how to revive me. The second time Venora died suddenly was during a big, mad wizard dungeon full of death traps and a revival system. Mad Wizard built the dungeon for entertainment, and dying had no consequence, as you'd just be revived on the next floor. That's kinda cruel. Well, in comes hot-headed and overconfident Venora, who kicks in the doors and is constantly getting herself in trouble. Except, she keeps breaking the death traps. She jammed a crush trap, flashed a pervy sphinx to bypass his riddles, and didn't drown in a water trap. Meanwhile, the rest of the party is dying a lot because we keep separating or getting stuck doing puzzles. Well, Venora finally rolls into a room she can't bullshit her way out of. No flashing for you in here, ma'am. She gets a sliding floor puzzle. Confidence flows through her. She steps forward onto a bit of the sliding floor and is sent into a disintegration beam. She came back in the next room, pissed. The third time Venora died was a bit more tragic. We were much later in the game at this point. It's still in 4th edition, level 14, I want to say. We were on a quest to unite some islands, and also look for Venora's missing parents. Well, one of these islands was ruled by an absolute tyrant king who did not think highly of women. Well, our ranger and Venora are women. One has a temper, when one doesn't like tyrants. Diplomacy goes out the window, and we attack. Our wizard and cleric, the player playing the paladin we previously had to decide to change characters, were much more focused on the diplomacy aspect of our quest. And again, were pleading for us to stand down. That didn't happen. So we were squaring off with this king, and one thing's for sure, he is not balanced to be fighting just 2 PCs. So as the only melee fighter in this instance, I am getting absolutely destroyed, as 4th edition barbarians don't have damage reduction. I go down. The ranger starts using hit and run tactics to try and finish the fight, and the king chases after her. The party chases after them to make sure the ranger isn't killed, while still thinking they can save the diplomacy. I start making death saves with the entire party now gone. I get a 9, and then I get a 1. Our cleric revived me later, but the wizard and Venora absolutely got into a heated argument in character over this. It was a great moment. Now, we've transferred everything into 5th edition using a time skip and a cataclysmic event. During that time, I've had Venora reclassed to a Way of the Long Death monk. Only makes sense for someone who has died so many times. Also, I can only imagine the party dynamic now where Venora basically doesn't trust anyone but the ranger, who seemingly always has her back. So basically, an enemy was on my character's head. That could be taken many different ways. I'm scaroused. Another person in the party tried to get it off with her sword, and she rolled a nat 20. And since I was supposed to take damage too, I took all the damage the enemy took. Since I was level 1, it was an instant death. Since it was so early in the game, my DM decided to find a way to let my character live by making the kill a vision instead of the actual death. But I kind of wish she didn't just get to see how they would have followed that whole thing. You know, I get that. I get that. My monk failed her constitution save against the white dragon's breath, falling to 0 HP. It was not that big of a deal, except that right next to me was my Order of the Lycan Blood Hunter teammate, and he just failed his wisdom save against Bloodlust. 1 auto crit from being attacked by my teammate later, I rolled a 7 on my death save, dying instantly. Rest in peace, Kendra. We hardly knew you. Hey everybody, Brian Von VA checking in after the vid. Please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, ring that bell, and of course, Leave a comment down below talking us through how a character in your party, maybe it's yours, or just a party that you knew, or anything, died unexpectedly. Bonus points if you can tell us if you held a memorial afterwards and how that went. All the love. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.